What's going on? As usual, the subscribe button was talking shit about you. Mash them out, let them know you ain't a punk. So today, I've been meaning to talk about this for a while, but I knew about this movement for like the last 3 years. And when I first started listening to certain YouTubers and people talking about it, it was basically like, it sounded like to me a bunch of men complaining and shit. Like the MGTOW movement. It sounded like a bunch of dudes complaining about females and the way they think and rationalize. And basically telling men to not waste their time with females. Alright, well, I partially agree, but then I partially don't. Here's my issue with the MGTOW movement. I think the MGTOW movement gives dudes who are basically like beta males, really. Gives dudes who are beta males a pass to just not even figure out what the hell they're doing wrong anymore. Some dudes. But then you have some who actually understand. They were saying basically you have to hit the wall where you have to understand what the red pill is. Basically, in those who don't know, the red pill is when you finally come to a realization of how things actually are with females as opposed to how we've been taught they are on like you know, movies and shows and shit. I remember when I was younger, man, every time they showed a relationship on TV or something, or when they talked about it on radio or on a movie or something, yo, whenever there was a relationship that went wrong, it was a dude that fucked up. And interestingly enough, when I got older, I had met a chick, real bad Spanish chick. I used to love this girl, but I was like 18 and shit. It's like the first girl I actually really liked when I was 18. So like, she started playing games and she started to mess around, but like I never actually caught her. But I actually caught her in a lie, like verbally, but I never physically caught her. So like what ended up happening was, you know, she basically fucked it up, messing around with another dude. So me not quite understanding, I blame myself for the shit. So I'm like, yo, I must have done something wrong somewhere along the lines. Which now thinking back, I did. But before that actually happened, like before I hit this realization, I'm like, yo, what the fuck did I do? Like, I don't know what I did wrong. So you gotta come to the realization of, like, yo, females have a certain pattern of behavior and primal instinct that they have to follow, just like men do. I mean, I believe in gender roles. Like I'm a traditional type person. So like male and females have different tendencies and have different capabilities. So I think therefore those capabilities are something that men and females can't really sidestep for the most part, you know, in large numbers. Whenever I talk about stuff, it's in large numbers. We're not talking about isolated incidents. So with that said, the red pill is basically like, okay, you have to hit a realization of what's going on. Like, you're either able not to grasp it, and because of that, women are taking advantage of you. You're getting put in the friend zone. Girls are giving you no attention, and you see them going out with more dudes who have more money, dudes who are more physically fit or physically attractive. And I mean, this is 100% fact. We can't really deny that, you know. Females are definitely gonna go for you know, whoever can provide more, because the primal instinct of a woman is to find a man who can provide, basically. And then to, you know, she's a nurturer. Men are supposed to be provider hunters, hunter-gatherers, that type thing. So with that said, excuse me. With that said, the whole MGTOW movement, I agree with the red pill, definitely. I hit the red pill probably about like, actually, interestingly enough, I didn't quite hit the red pill completely. I hit it a little bit after I broke up with that girl when I was 18. Then I met a chick like the next year. I hadn't fully hit it. I hit it kinda. But then after that, bruh. After the chick I met got with in 05, didn't stop messing with her completely till like 2008. Yo, that relationship was fucked up. Like, it was hella fucked up, man. I mean, I just felt left and right, I was getting in fights with dudes. Damn near lost my damn life and shit. fucking hella money, broke off with family members and shit, and arguments with family members. Went to jail before because of this chick. Like, yo, this shit was crazy. I got locked up anyway, arrested because of this chick. And this shit was like, I look back on the whole situation, and I'm like, at the end of the day, I really can't blame anybody but myself, because nobody forced me to mess with these girls. And if I would have had a general understanding of exactly how to deal with certain females, which females you take seriously, which ones you don't, how not to get friend zoned by the ones you like, I probably wouldn't have ended up in those situations. So at the end of the day, it is your fault. Now, the MGTOW movement, I think, kind of places the blame on everybody else. Like, I can't remember the one YouTube dude is. He made a YouTube, and he was like, dude was in the gym, and some older woman looked like she was kind of still attractive, but she was looking at some other guy, like, with lust or whatever, and she was looking at him like he was nobody. I mean, so what? Like, what the fuck? Who cares, bro? Like, the thing is, you don't understand. Like, if a chick looks at you like that, and in disgust, you might have 4 other chicks that'll look at you and think you're just the hottest thing on earth. I mean, if you don't have a lot to offer, that's one thing you gotta really check, dude. Like, again, our nature is supposed to be hunter-gatherers. We're supposed to have and provide. So if you don't really have anything to provide, and you don't have anything to offer to the relationship via your role as a gender, you know, like male or female, dude, what the fuck do you expect? Like, I don't know, man. But a lot of the MGTOW guys, actually, they get in these modes where they just play the victim, and they just say, well, fuck it, I'm just not gonna fuck with females completely. But then you got some MGTOW guys who say, you know what, fuck females for a minute, fuck females. Let me just get my money up, let me get my business started, let me take care of my physical fitness, make sure my body's in shape, make sure I eat right, clean my thinking, and make sure I got all these things I need to have first before I proceed to move on to getting a female. Which I completely agree with. Like, that is, to me, that's the way it should be. It should be you putting yourself together before you go out to get a female, because at the end of the day, you have to have an inner peace with yourself first before you even are able to go out and even impress, I say, a female, even to get a female you actually like. You gotta be comfortable with yourself. I mean, I follow alpha male strategies too. Big up the alpha male strategy. That dude, he knows what the hell he's talking about. So, I mean, I've known about this stuff for a minute. When I was younger and being my boy, we used to follow some of the pickup artist shit. And like, basically that's what it was. It was making yourself feel better about yourself. That way you put yourself first before you put females. So you don't end up in positions like the guy who gets called when the female has problems, or the guy who gets, you know, just put in the friend zone flat out, or the guy who always gets a hug but never ever gets any ass. I mean, there's simple principles you can follow to not have to deal with that shit. And first, it starts from within. You can't skip yourself. Like, you're gonna be in your body, so you need to make sure you're comfortable in your body, and you need to understand the simple fact that you have to improve yourself before you go on to do anything else. There's no way to sidestep it. And yeah, I realized that, man. I think this was when I finally fully hit the red pill. I think I was about 20, I want to say like 23, maybe 22. Man, I started going to the gym and training. I started doing cardio. I started to drink a whole lot of water. Like, I would drink a gallon of water every 2 days. Then summertime, I would drink a gallon a day. And I started to eat right. I started to cut out processed foods and things like that. This is back in the day, and it really changed my whole perspective. You know, I started to think more positive. I just pulled everything together, man. After I did that, I think 1 year I had a goal, because when I was younger, man, when you do shit like this when you're younger, my goal was like to get with as many girls in a year I could. I wanted to get with, like, now for me, I'm really picky, so for me, I wanted to be like around 12 girls a year, like 1 girl a month. And I had 13 that year. So that year was a pretty good year for me. So I mean, and it boosted my ego or whatever, you know, it was cool. So with that said, you just really got to focus on yourself first. So don't use the red pill to just completely shun females altogether, because some of you dudes, you guys are doing yourself a disservice by doing that, man. Don't avoid the problem. Figure out how to get around it. You know, don't completely avoid the problem. Figure out how to get around the problem. So I mean, that's my only gripe with the MGTOW shit. But I mean, you know, the red pill is necessary. Every man has to hit a point where he says, yo, something ain't right. Like, females are not as sweet and tender for the most part as social media makes them out to be, or media period makes them out to be. When you actually start to deal with women, you'll learn they're actually pretty self-centered for the most part and cutthroat. You gotta check them sometimes. You gotta have a backbone. This is why alpha males, and this is why like the jocks and the assholes who aren't really necessarily good people get all the females, because one, they're socially inept. Like, these dudes know how to talk. They hang around people all the time, so therefore they have social skills to talk to people. If you just isolate yourself in a corner and stay in your house and play video games, you're not getting any experience going out. So yeah, the jocks are around. What they do for their recreation is being around other people, interacting. You have to be able to interact with other people. If you can't do that, you're not going to be able to get a female, flat out. I mean, females are not going to approach you for the most part. That's just not that's not in their genetic code, bro. So yeah, that's one of them things I wanted to add on to that. But let me know what you guys think. What do you think of the MGTOW movement overall? Like, comment, subscribe, of course. I'm telling you, the subscribe button is talking a lot of shit about you, man. Punch him in his face. Let him know you ain't no punk. But yeah, let me get in here and punch this clock. Y'all take it easy. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Peace.